Hi, this is Linda Shea with Drilling Contractor. I'm at the 2019 IADC Annual General Meeting in Austin, Texas. I have with me Chris Callan of the Callan Group. Chris, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you spoke at the conference today, and you mentioned that the same tools that give you personal safety will also give you process safety. Can you elaborate on that a little?
I think after Macondo, we heard a lot about process safety, and I heard people saying, well, we don't need personal safety. But when we look at it, if you have process safety into your management system, if you have it in your procedures, if you have it in your JSAs, then it's there. The personal safety part, those same tools that we've talked about, those things, if you get really good at risk assessing and using policy and procedure, then you're going to be working on process safety at the same time. So I talk about that from the rig level. We're still going to have people working on process, but when you get to the implementation, the tools to implement it at the workforce are the same tools.
You also mentioned that management commitment is required for an organization to be injury-free. So what does that kind of commitment look like?
It's a commitment no matter when it is, good times, bad times. It's a commitment to their people, but it's a commitment to, it's got to come from the top. The problem that happens is that management sways. Oh, yes, we need to be safe. Oh, we need to do something else, and or performance. And so when management gets absolutely committed that we are going to make a difference and we're committed to injury-free. Now, does that mean we're going to reach injury-free? No, but we're going to get real close. And what it means is management has to drive it. People do what the boss says. When the boss says it's Christmas time, the boys are singing Christmas carols. And if the boss sends out a consistent message about safe and efficient operations, then that starts to permeate in everything they do. Without that commitment, it is constantly money, safety. It goes back and forth.
So what is the impact of safe and efficient operations on revenues? And what was the challenge that you gave to the audience here on having safe and efficient operations?
One of the things is, first of all, I think everybody knows that efficiency makes revenue. So that's a good thing. But the thing is that efficiency, it does make revenue unless you're hurting people. And then if you're working safe, but you're not efficient, you're not there either. So it's about both of those things. And when those come together, all your cost, all of a sudden that equipment damage, because the same tool that's going to give you safe and efficient is going to make sure you're not tearing up things. It's going to make sure that you're not messing with the environment or hurting people. A lot of times we look at it as, oh, I'm going to spend money on safety and it's going to be a cost. Well, when you spend money on safe and efficient operations, first of all, I don't think the commitment is as big as people think, but the payoff isn't just this is nice and now we got our TRIR down a little bit. It will come in, not only on that, it will come in your operations. At this time in the industry, we have to do both things. We can't do just one. We have to be the best of the best. The best of the best are going to keep working, and the best of the best are going to make money even in these lean times. And then the challenge I gave is that I find that most executives are out of touch. Unfortunately, it's not a bad thing. It's not about wrong. It's just a lot of times they think it's happening. They hear what their guys are saying. Oh, we're doing these initiatives and these initiatives, and every once in a while they need to get out on a rig and not just go out there and hold a meeting. But if they get out there, whether it's an executive or a general manager or a rig manager, and you get out there in the workplace, instead of just saying, "Are you doing this stuff?" and they say yes, get out there and see what they're doing. Are they meeting your expectations? My experience has been from what you teach in a classroom or the tools you have, most of the time we're hitting on about 30% of the actual efficiency that could be done if we're using these tools properly. And I think what they'll find is a lot of times people say, well, we've had these tools and they're, maybe they're not working. Well, the problem is we have the tools, they're not working because we're not using them the way they were intended to be. And the only way you're going to find out and be able to bridge that gap is to go out there and see. Every incident that I ever see comes down to a breakdown on one of those tools. We either didn't risk assess it, we didn't call a timeout when we could have, we didn't cover our permit to work. We had the paper, but we didn't do it, or our safety conversations have all become cards. And then without those debriefs, we're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. If we're actually using those tools and the executives or whoever it may be get out there and see that, I think they'll know that the answers are right there. It's not about new. It's taking it because technology is new and it's going to change. It's fantastic. People are people. Even whether you're a millennial, Gen X, Gen Z, or whether you're in the last year being the baby boomer here.
Thank you so much for being here, Chris.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you to the IEC for having me.
And thank you, viewers, for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.